Gracias por estar aquí presente una vez conmigo. Amigos, el día de hoy, muy buenos días para todos ustedes, por cierto. Feliz lunes, feliz comienzo de semana y ya estamos terminando de mes. 28 de octubre, ya vienen las elecciones, 5 de noviembre, bastante importante. Señores, esto sucedió el día de ayer, donde el Comité Nacional Demócratas estaba proyectando lo siguiente, cito: Trump elogió a Hitler en el Madison Square Garden durante el mitin de Donald J. Trump. Resulta que los demócratas básicamente están dolidos porque los republicanos en sí llenaron el mitin, muchas personas literalmente. El Madison Square Garden tiene una capacidad de 19.500 personas. Y afuera habían demasiada gente, señores. Esto fue increíble. Imágenes exclusivas de Trump llena el Madison Square Garden en New York. Las calles se inundan de partidarios del expresidente. Las entradas para el meeting en Trump están agotadas en la azul ciudad de Nueva York con multitudes desbordadas afuera. Miren la cantidad de personas que estuvieron allí presentes.
How good your people are that operate this machinery. It's going to break, and you're going to be out there all by yourself a lot, and you got to be able to do so. 3 weeks ago, she was saying there was only 32 days left, right? And she's reading it like, there's 32 days, and it stopped. And she went, there's 32 days. 32. 32. How good your people are that operate this machinery. Nightmare on our border to her inflation catastrophe, all done in conjunction with Sleepy Joe. But he was largely sleeping, wasn't he? After 4 o'clock, it's time to go to bed. To his and her egregious nightmare on our border to her inflation catastrophe.
Sí, amigos, última hora, más de 94.500 personas están en el rally del presidente Trump en Madison. El estadio ha alcanzado su capacidad máxima de 19.500 personas y el Departamento de Policía de Nueva York ha informado una movilización de 75.000 personas afuera, y si juntamos todo esto da casi 100.000 personas. Este es el rally más grande en el que he estado. No necesitas autobuses ni personas haciendo twerking para poder traer a personas o contratar a Beyoncé. ¿Ok? Ahora, la multitud enloquece cuando Tucker Carlson sacude el escenario en un discurso épico. Ningún sistema justo haría poderosa a Liz Cheney, dice Tucker Carlson. Ningún sistema justo haría rico a Larry Fink. Ningún sistema justo elevaría a alguien como Kamala Harris en la nominación presidencial. Liz Cheney está ahí con Kamala, y Bobby Kennedy llama a proteger los deportes femeninos en un mitin de Trump. Es un reajuste increíble. Ustedes, la llamada élite, no son mejores que nosotros, no. No son más inteligentes que nosotros, no. No merecen lo que tienen, probablemente lo hayan robado. La gran mentira es que son impresionantes. Es la gran mentira que las personas que están al mando se han ganado de alguna manera el derecho a gobernarte, y no es así. Donald Trump ha hecho posible que el resto de nosotros digamos la verdad sobre el mundo que nos rodea, y eso es lo más liberador que se puede hacer por la gente. Entonces, básicamente la élite como tal está molesta porque Donald Trump le ha dado una voz al pueblo estadounidense de expresar lo que ellos sienten. La élite está molesta porque Elon Musk compró una plataforma que no ha sido controlada por la élite, donde las personas puedan expresarse de manera libre y justa, sin ser censurados por parte de los elitistas. Y yo creo que eso pega más, señores, a estas personas poderosas, de que no pueden controlar la narrativa que tanto ellos quieren implementar en el sistema para poder lavar el cerebro de las personas y mantenerlos dormidos, porque y hay personas dormidas, no es un secreto, señores, no es un secreto. Yo creo que antes de mostrarle esta declaración de Tucker Carlson en español, quiero decirte algo muy personal. Las personas o la mayoría de los jóvenes están dormidos con el tema de las redes sociales. O sea, tú te puedes quedar en un teléfono viendo TikTok, Instagram por 2 horas y no te das cuenta. O sea, las plataformas de redes sociales, más que todo Instagram, TikTok, están diseñadas para poder buscar la manera de captar la atención del usuario y permanecer por un largo tiempo sin que se den cuenta. O sea, estamos hablando de empresas trillonarias que han manejado, han hecho estudios de la psicología y la mente del ser humano para buscar la manera de que el ser humano en sí pueda permanecer en un teléfono y que no se dé cuenta. O sea, literalmente no se dé cuenta cuánto tiempo invirtió en un aparato. Entonces, yo considero que el tiempo es lo más... es. El tiempo en sí es lo más valioso en el mundo, aparte de la salud. Entonces, cuando nosotros invertimos nuestro tiempo en cosas que no son necesarias, estamos perdiendo el tiempo. Y como dice un dicho, tiempo perdido hasta los muertos lo lloran. Entonces, es importante, señores, que nos demos cuenta de una de las razones de por qué estos elitistas están molestos por Trump, es porque Trump le ha dado a entender a las personas todo este tiempo transcurrido que tienen una voz y tu voz importa. Ahora, te voy a mostrar a continuación lo que dijo Tucker Carlson sobre este tema más profundo y me pareció muy interesante. Así que quiero que le prestes mucha atención y por favor, comparte este video en las redes sociales para que las personas puedan ver este tipo de contenido que sí vale la pena. Yo pienso que estos videos, mi video informativos y que dejo un mensaje, sí vale la pena. Son videos que sí impacta en las personas. Vean esto.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Tucker Carlson.
Thank you. I saw the Grateful Dead in this arena in 1987. I was seated right there. How weird. It's such an honor to be here, and it's wild. Just another day following Bobby Kennedy Jr. at a Donald Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. I mean, what? That's totally normal. Liz Cheney's out there with Kamala Harris. And there's Bobby Kennedy calling to protect women's sports at a Trump rally. It's a realignment. It's unbelievable. And the fact that it's here is even sweeter. Imagine if you're, and just pause for one moment. Imagine you're Donald Trump. You're from New York City. You become famous in New York City. You make your fortune in New York City. And all of a sudden, the leadership of New York City decides they're going to destroy you because they don't like your politics. And so they, yeah, boo. Imagine if that were you, though. And they try and take everything that you have. They try and put you in prison. They try and put your children in prison. If that happened to you, how often do you think you'd be going back to New York City? How about never? And yet he's here. It's like getting thrown out of a bar. And you think to yourself, well, you know, all my friends are in the bar. And you approach the door and there's the bouncer like, you're not allowed in here. But from behind the bouncer, you hear the cheers of your friend, come on in! And the bouncer hangs his head in shame. Ugh. He's embarrassed that he's working for the man trying to keep the most popular person out of the bar. And that's Donald Trump back in the city that produced him with no embarrassment at all, in a room full of his friends. The stones that takes, the bravery that takes, is incredible. Donald Trump's gonna win. He's gonna win. I know that that's true. Why is Donald Trump gonna win? The people he's about to defeat have no idea. And they're panicked. They have no idea why people like Donald Trump. And their first theory was, well, Donald Trump is evil, so half the country's evil also. And that's one of the reasons they spent the last 4 years trying to destroy the country, because they're mad at its voters for liking Donald Trump. How much easier would it have been just to pause for 20 minutes and ask yourself honestly in some silent place, why do people like Donald Trump? And if they had been honest enough to ask themselves that question, they would have come up with the two main reasons, and here's what they are. The first reason that people like Donald Trump is because he likes them. That's why. And it's real. Affection is something you can't fake. I don't care how many times Kamala Harris would tell me she loves me, I don't believe her. I saw her kiss her husband with a mask on. A mask on. That's her version of love. It's fake. It's not real. They spent 10 years telling you Trump is a hater. Do you feel that on him? No, you don't. Because it's not there. I've spent a lot of time with Trump. And there's not one moment I've ever been with him off camera where he's spending his time grousing about people he hates. Ever. He's talking about the people and the country he loves in his private time. Trust me. And people know, in a country that has been taken over by a leadership class that actually despises them and their values and their history and their culture and their customs, really hates them to the point that it's trying to replace them, they know someone who actually has affection for them, and that's Donald Trump. And it's requited. It's requited. They know. When he goes to McDonald's and serves fries, like, he's not faking that at all. That's why that worked. Democratic media consultants are like, how is that working? Because it's real. That's why. And the second reason that people love Trump, and I put myself in this category, it's why I'm here today, is because he's liberated us in the deepest and truest sense. And the liberation he has brought to us is the liberation from the obligation to tell lies. Donald Trump has made it possible for the rest of us to tell the truth about the world around us. And that's the single most liberating thing you can do for people. If you want to enslave people, if you want to degrade them, force them to tell lies. And they have. They forced us to lie about everything at gunpoint, effectively. They put people in prison for refusing to lie. And not just the obvious lies that men can become women or Vladimir Putin blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. No, honestly, he did. January 6th was an insurrection. They were unarmed, but it was very insurrection-y. Not even the obvious ones, but the big lie. You know what the big lie is? The big lie is that they're impressive. That's what the big lie is. That the people in charge have somehow earned the right to rule over you, and they haven't. And you know that. These are the single most useless people in the United States. They have no skills whatsoever. They've got 3/4 of the money, and they didn't earn it. They set up a system precisely for the purpose of awarding themselves wealth and power when it's undeserved. You look at Liz Cheney and you ask yourself honestly, what skill could she possibly have that allowed her to send hundreds of thousands of people to their deaths? Did she earn that? I don't think she did. No fair system would make Liz Cheney powerful. No fair system would make Larry Fink rich. No fair system would elevate someone like Kamala Harris to a presidential nomination. She's never been accused of doing anything useful. She has precisely no achievements. She's a nominee without getting a single vote. She is a metaphor for the system they created to make themselves rich and powerful, and then they have the gall to lecture you, the people who can actually change a flat tire and repair a power grid, who have useful jobs, who pay your taxes and work 40 hours a week, lecture you that you are somehow immoral. And Donald Trump has empowered the rest of us through mostly just sticking around in the face of their hate and abuse and persecution. He has given the rest of us the right to call BS on the charade. No, you are not better than us. No, you are not smarter than us. No, you do not deserve what you have. You probably stole it. No, you're not going to bully me into silence anymore. And I can promise you at this point, 9 days out, when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Elon Musk and Tulsi Gabbard and pretty much every high school senior and college shorty girl in the country has come out finally say, yeah, I am for Donald Trump, actually. When the entire country has realized there is nothing embarrassing about this. What's embarrassing is to take a perfectly great country and destroy it, as they have. I'm not ashamed. You should be. At that moment, it's going to be pretty tough for them 10 days from now to look in the eye to America with a straight face. It's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, former California prosecutor ever to be elected president, it was just a groundswell of popular support. And anyone who thinks otherwise is just a freak or a criminal. At this stage of the game, after 9 years of listening to their lies and finding every single one of them totally false, no, it's not safe and effective, and no, she's not impressive. It's very hard for me to believe the rest of us are going to say, you know what, Joe Scarborough, you're right. You're right. She won fair and square because she's just so impressive. I don't think so. And to me, that is liberation. It's the freedom to say what's obviously true as a free man and not a slave. And I just want to say thank you, Donald Trump, for that.